Boston.
Did you? Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So let's try to figure out where we're at.
So, yeah, this is this is very much an sort of like, I have a captive audience of people interested in, Haskell infrastructure, and therefore I'm going to talk about sort of nitty-gritty and just where we're at. It's things that people should be aware of more than there's no research. There's no exciting innovation. There's sysadminning. There are boxes and Unix updates and things, and right, but this is the stuff we live on. It's our website. It's how does Hackage stay running, and so we should sort of know how it happens. And we've got a team of sysadmins, and the Haskell.org committee is responsible sort of in the trusteeship for the community resources, but then the sysadmins, who are not necessarily all committee members, some are the ones who do all the execution. These are the things I'm going to focus on. We have other boxes, they do other things. We got the main website, we got Hackage, we got the Wiki, Mail's now on its own server. We have the GHC build bots and so on, Fabricator for, maintaining the source tree and commits and the track. We have poorcommunity.haskell.org. We have the platform web pages, and I summarize this under boring stuff. We need to enable other stuff. And there's probably more stuff I'm forgetting, and if I'm forgetting it, that probably means that the sysadmins forget it, and it's probably getting sysadmin poorly too. So I thought I'd pull stats so there'd be something interesting in this talk. One thing that I learned is that we need to actually have a package for stats, because I had to download the logs and run this by hand, and I only did 2 days because we don't have a system. So over the last 2 days, and we're behind we're behind 2 different CDNs actually these days, so none of the stats we have are real. One thing we'd like to do is get real stats, but that means figuring out how to get them out of the CDNs. I already have questions, okay. Oh, sorry, I don't know how close it's better? Sorry. Sorry, there we go. 11,000 uniques, serving up 100,000 pages, 1.7 gigs on Wiki and www in the last couple days. Top hits, a lot of people use Google. Back down. Let me just not use the mic. I just have a loud voice. A lot of people use Google. A lot of people hitting the platform page, the downloads page, the GHC website, and documentation, which is a new resource we put together that sort of curates sort of good intro documentation so that it's not all just like, here's the wiki, go Google stuff, have fun. It tries to sort of select what people think are good resources. Here we go, 2 days on Hackage. 290 uniques, because it all comes from our CDN, which is brokering everything. So not a lot of uniques, a lot of pages served. 18 gigs, and that's behind the CDN, of which 15 gigs is just people pulling index.tar.gz. I don't know if that's because it's not cached by the CDN or it's updated, or we did something with it.
15 out of 18.
15 gigs of people pulling index.tar.gz over the last 2 days.
Out of the total.
Out of the total of 18.
Was this a CDN?
Yeah. So it might be the CDN is just refreshing it constantly. I don't know. It's a 10 meg file, so it's much bigger than everything else. I enjoyed that the top package downloaded by bytes is void. So the libraries committee may want to consider. A lot of people want to do nothing. People hit the main packages page, people hit the search page, people hit Lens, and people hit PureScript. So up and coming, and then they hit the recent feed for some reason a lot. Maybe that's automated tools as well. So just some statistics to make things interesting. I ran these installs statistics a while ago because somebody in the audience actually here said, I need to prove to people that can fund me that my work has impact and I want to work on the compiler. So let me tell you, so can I tell them how many people install this? And these are the numbers I ran then. Again, we need to have people, maybe a volunteer who'd want to be the czar of stats to actually figure out how to collect it right. But over 1.5 months, we had 92,000 platform downloads. We have no idea how many distro installs. I don't even know how to find that out. We don't know the standalone installers because we don't have that centralized very well. It would be nice to sort of centralize some of that, and it would be good to have a stat star. Is there a question?
I was going to say,
Yeah?
stack install
No, stack installs aren't counted. They pull, I think, from other standalone distros. Anything distributed through GitHub, you have no way to get the stats. They don't let you get it out of them. That's another reason we might want to centralize on other resources, David.
I think Debian lets you, has an option, like an opt-in thing where it works out packages are installed.
There's PopCon, but it's really useless. I looked at it. Okay. Let's talk about, those are all the numbers, just so people, and I think that, I should mention, I think that it's interesting that these download, because the problem is, you can be in a room like this and you have one sort of echo chamber. You can be on Twitter and Reddit and everything, you have another sort of echo chamber. There are so many people that we don't know who they are and we have no idea what they're doing and how, and maybe they're not speaking up a lot because it actually just sort of works for them. But, right, just remember, this is actually used by a lot of people that we have no idea who they are or how, and that's always something to bear in mind. We got the new homepage since the last ICFP. I showed a preview there. New update procedures, so it's all GitHub pulls now. It's a bit more centralized. It's not the anarchy of the wiki. We have curated resources, I said, that try to pull together sort of really a good intro to the language instead of just everything. We had one phase of bike shedding, but now if people want to come in and sort of clean it up and stuff, it'll be a bit more stable to have discussions and tickets. If there's anything you want to do, file a ticket. Work needed, I don't know, you tell us. It seems like it's pretty stable. Wiki, we have a better account story. Let me tell you a story that happened just now. One of the chairs of the workshop said, I need an account on the Wiki, and I just sent an email because, I've got to put the workshop stuff there. One of now our team of people who respond to these requests, we can't do it automatically because otherwise we get spammed, responded within 3 minutes before I had time to do it myself. So that's service with a smile. So we just have an alias that goes to about 5 volunteers and it comes in and they do it. And that's good. That's the sort of easy thing that it's easy to get people involved in because it doesn't require a huge commitment. It doesn't require a lot of creativity, but it's people taking collective responsibility in simple things. We installed some extra plugins to make citations and stuff better. It needs a lot of people just to curate it as a wiki and help garden the information and just feel it doesn't need to be set in crystal. It's a wiki. It should grow. It should change. Old stuff should be deleted. It's fine. We've got an interest group. Google Haskell Wiki maintainers at Google groups. It's not really used, but the idea was that it would help people who wanted to work in the wiki do stuff. Mail, good. It's boring. It works. That's a relief. GHC Fab Track. Our BuildBot story is very confused at the moment. I don't understand it fully. Half of them aren't really there anymore. There's no central place to track the central thing versus the other BuildBots. It all sort of works, but I don't think we have a good uniform story for Windows. We were talking about one. I could be a bit behind the times here, but I'm a bit worried about, I'm not worried, but it could be a lot better, and it's not. Fabricator is in pretty good shape. It's a system people seem to like. They keep patching it, making it better. Yes, question?
Travis just keeps getting better and better with the container infrastructure. They've got Max support, right? Is there a reason we're not using Travis for too long?
Yeah, I can't imagine Travis working for a GHC build cycle. Maybe we could negotiate with them for resources. I don't know anyone at Travis.
Work on that at one point, and then it kind of blew up in the end because it was just pushing the limits of how long they could build things.
So, as far as I know, in fact, the platform wants to move off Travis for similar, even doing the platform sort of validation is too much. So I don't know about like a full GHC, and then you want to run performance tests and stuff. Track used to be falling over all the time. Now it only falls over about, once every 4 hours, and then it picks itself back up. We don't know why. There's some requests that just send it into a tailspin. We could use, we've done a lot of mitigation measures, migrated the database. We could use someone who's really good at debugging track under sort of high conditions to help us with that.
This would really help. It is kind of mission critical to anybody developing GHC, quite painful.
Yeah, so I mean, it's better, but it's not great. And we don't know what to do next. We've done the things we know how to do. Community.haskell.org, we made it the big announcement, we're retiring it. That's it. We haven't done anything to actually retire it. Hopefully over time, people will start migrating their stuff. We're gonna give people a lot of time to move off it. But again, it's something none of us wants to really do. It's sort of tedious to sort of just help figure out what are the last living mailing lists in the sea of spam on there and stuff and help them migrate off. So another place, volunteers would be helpful. Why do I care? Because we're renting it and it costs us X amount a month from Hetzner, so it would be nice to not pay those fees. platform has a new page. Mark scared up resources, and it looks really nice, and it's integrated much better with the website. As a whole, one of the big problems with the platform was we sort of had a council of perfection, so it was like, well, we could release now, but GHC says they've got a point release right around the corner. And, 4 months later, well, they have a point release, but they said they have another point release right around the corner, and then it sort of just didn't get released. And instead, no, what we're going to do is we're going to release the platform very regularly so it doesn't get out of date. There is going to be the integration with Stack. There's a lot of plans underway there, so that'll hopefully make people comfortable again to recommend just install the platform as the way to get Haskell. We want a one-stop shop, one-stop brand, so nobody has to figure out what to do. What does the platform? Stack is a tool that lets you build some packages. The platform is the Haskell platform. It's binary distributions. Part of it is, well, do you get the packages by default or not? How many do you get? That's all being worked out. Part of the plan with the new system is you can get either the minimal or the full platform. It's also a bit more curated than, right? Stack just ties to whatever LTS happens to be. The platform is also supposed to give you a blessed set of core packages, and it's supposed to curate more carefully the versions and stuff on them. I don't really want to have more of that discussion at the moment. We can do that over some other point. Work on incorporating them in JHC. Package. We've got 2 GSOC projects that are paid off. We've got stars. We haven't really publicized them, and we could have a better UI, but you can star a package that you like. So we've got an upvote system. So go on, find your favorite packages, give them all the stars. You can't really search. You can't sort by that yet. No, we have no thumbs down. That was very deliberate, so that there's a positive place. You can like it or you can be indifferent. But just like Facebook, you can't dislike it. We've got a whole bunch of work on Google Juice. We've got sitemaps, so that should make Google searches better, land you at the right place, and canonical links that are, who knows if it'll work, but we're attempting to teach Google the right way to not take you to outdated docs. We've got a refactor to templatize a lot of stuff that was generated in the code. That doesn't do anything on its own. The goal is that now we can have another pass and have people, if you want to redesign it, you fix a web page template, you don't have to just redo all the code itself. And we know that it doesn't work well on mobile. There's already some proposals for how to just add some other things to make it more navigable. I can't scroll over. We have Hyperlink source now. Then that's going to eventually hit the doc builders, so that you can actually, when you go to the view source in Hackage, it'll let you click, and then it'll take you to the definition, and you click, and it takes you to the definition. It's very neat. It's show and tell, but I don't have time. SSH is in Cabal, so, Sorry, yes, HTTPS is in Cabal. I always get that wrong. Yes, you can do secure SSL, whatever they call it. Hackage, Duncan covered security. One of the things that we need to do in the committee, and I may be talking to some of you during the week, is to figure out who those roots of trust are. We think there's probably going to be about 10. We're not going to need them all to sign. We'll take some, small proportion that will be once a year, just need to sort of sign a key as being the right key and hold on to those roots of trust. So we would like to find a mix of sort of people, who have been involved in Haskell for many years, and then maybe some held by committee members or some held by corporations with a lot of Haskell infrastructure have communicated. And it's not a big responsibility, but it'd be good to have sort of a broad base for that and sort of a statement. Matrix.hackage.haskell.org, if you go there, have you seen this thing? It's amazing. Herbert put this together. It tries to build packages against all the versions of the package, against all the last 6 versions of GHC, and figure out if there's any install plan available. And so this has been used by all of our Hackage trustees to go through and edit the version bounds and figure out what works and what doesn't. It's a really amazing tool. I'm not going to show you at the moment. Speaking of which, we now have policies because SPJ pushed us correctly to actually write down what are our policies for how do you edit Cabal metadata, who's allowed to, when do you turn over a package if some maintainer disappears, so forth. We've got policies for that, so now we're a lot more responsive on taking control of the Hackage ecosystem and being more proactive, and it's not just a big whiteboard where anyone writes anything now. We can go and clean up the mess. Navigation, discovery, and mobile all need work. I've been talking to someone who's got experience in sort of UX design about maybe running a survey just in terms of usability and a usability study, right? We're at the point where I think in products you'd say it's feature complete but not product complete, right? Everything you want is there, but most people don't know how to find any of it, right? Hackage is not very navigable just as a product because it wasn't built as a product. It was built as a lot of tech that was important, but it's not like you can just sort of, and that's one of the issues with Cabal that we know, is like you type a Cabal command, and it doesn't do exactly what you expected because you had to type another command like configure first and stuff, and we've done a better job at trying to smooth some of that out. But we need to step back and have people that, are not necessarily, sort of code gurus, but usability people, and who really know how to walk through an interaction and make sure that, if you just, I don't know what I'm doing, it will actually do what you would hope. And that's not so easy. That's a special skill and field of its own. Other stuff going on. We have monitoring now, so when things go down, we have a third-party service that'll email us, hackage is down. And hackage really doesn't go down much anymore because we're on more stable boxes. We don't have automation and reproducibility in the boxes that we serve. Austin is keen on doing a lot more work based on Next to sort of get reproducible servers for testing and other purposes, but that's a place where people who might be interested in helping contribute. That's something interesting to work on. Stats, as I mentioned, and I think we've done a much better job at branding that people can always show up to hashtag Haskell Infrastructure on Freenode or email admin at haskell.org, and that we actually have a status page when things go down. We update that and let them know people know what's wrong. And generally people know now, they no longer just go on Reddit and say, everything is down, I don't know where to look, who do I talk to, right? They get redirected to the right place relatively quickly, and we tend to be idling there and pretty responsive. So it's incremental progress. There's a lot of work to be done, a lot of places for people to chip in, but that's it. I don't know if there's any other questions or anything. Thanks for your time. Hyperlink source. I click there, I click there, I click there. It jumps around. This is all jumps up, jumps down. This is all on Hackage because someone uploaded it manually. It's from the GSOC project. Matrix. This is my package. It works on these versions. It fails on these because it does tricky things that these versions don't like in terms of the types. This is work TLS. This is, look at that matrix. Wow. Check out all the build plans it generated. Well, I don't know, man.
Check out Void.
And it lets you, and we can queue it again as many times as you want. This is a really great tool. And if you're interested in what happens to your package, it's probably on there. I don't know if I should promote it too widely because it might, if everyone uses this.
For queuing builds, I think needs a password from one of the trustees.
Okay, that's good. I don't want to spam it, but it's really cool. Go on there and browse it, and it'll teach you things you didn't know.
So the thing that's really worth mentioning with this matrix is that in principle, everything can be green. Green doesn't mean that it will build. It means that it either says there is no build plan for this, and therefore about install will say, no, you simply can't install it, it's not possible. What should not happen is that Val says, oh, there is a plan, but that then fails.
Well, I think
So we have okay, no install plan.
I think Lens might actually be all green, and it's enormous.
So yeah, that tells you okay, no install plan versus just okay. I don't know if this is going to come up. The box has been very.
Does it also check if it?
Ooh, look at that.
Oh no!
Uh-oh.
Oh, we have a trustee.
Uh-oh. You're fired. Yeah.
I actually go out of my way religiously to maintain that this stays green on every package I ship.
Yeah, which is really good. So we should make this stuff available on the main package website, and then we'll refresh for everybody. We make everything green.
Yeah.
Okay.
Does it check if you say there is no installation plan that if there exists one?
No, it doesn't check. It doesn't check if it's too restrictive, as far as I know. I know that's your lightning talk. So, yeah.
You say this is running on one box.
I think so. I'm reporting on stuff everyone's done. This is Herbert's thing. I wish he could be here to tell us about it. HVR, yeah. I think it's running on one box. It just sort of takes its time.
Yeah, it's slow.
Yeah. The queue gets long. Yeah. have stats for what?
Any of the CDNs?
Because we don't know how to. We have we have many gigs of logs from one of the CDNs, and they got uploaded to a DreamHost server that we have, and then we never figure out how to look at them. So if you know how to take dumps from logs from a DreamHost server and then efficiently do something, that would be nice. Yeah, let's talk. But it's just because it doesn't occur to you. You do something and then, only preparing for this talk did I say, geez, stats would be nice. I thought about it last 6 months prior, right? What are you gonna do? All right, thanks for your time.